I'm Joey Winton. I am a senior graphic design major at Doane University, and my project is GREENHAND. It is all about showing people the benefits of replacing turf grass, which is the grass that most lawns use, with native plants, native grasses, native trees. The logo and name, GREENHAND, comes from the colloquial expression green thumb, but in my campaign, more work than just having a green thumb is going to be required. You're going to have to do some heavy lifting, getting down and dirty, implying that you're using your whole hand, hence the name GREENHAND. I see the environmental crises happening around the earth in increasing frequency and severity, and a lot of the current environmental campaigns out there are very much focused on your individual impact instead of focusing on larger entities as a whole and the damage that they're doing. With that in mind, I focused on something that just about anyone can do, something small that's non-committal, and they don't have to change and uproot their entire life and lifestyle to do it. And that came out to be replacing some or all of the lawn around your house with plants that don't need as much water, don't need as much care, and ultimately benefit the local pollinators and your ecosystem as a whole. The reason that people should care about this is that turf grass lawns use way more water than they should, and they offer zero benefits to the local environment. They offer nothing for pollinators, and pollinator populations are rapidly decreasing, and they need all the help they can get, and grass is not a help for them at all. Aside from all of the environmental factors, it's just cheaper and easier for people to take care of plants that are native to their region. They don't need to spend as much time, if at all, watering the plants, keeping them healthy and trimming them, making sure that they're properly healthy and not being eaten by pests. The plants that are native to your region have evolved specifically to live in your region, and they can just be left on their own devices. My primary audience for this campaign is anyone who owns a house, so that's in today's age, that's anyone 35, but mostly 40 to 55-year-olds, and who are also still youthful enough to be able to do some of the more physical things that come with replacing your lawn. So we're not talking about older people who, who would endanger themselves by trying to do some of the things that my project talks about. But that is not to say that they're excluded from this. If you certainly feel like you're able to, by all means, go for it. But one of the main elements of my campaign is that you can do all of this yourself. With the age group of my audience in mind, I then strategized what kind of deliverables my campaign would produce. I also referenced other environmental campaigns to see what they did well and what they didn't do so well. And the main consistent thing that I found is that none of them mentioned how the personal direct benefits of whatever their environmental message is affect you. So I started with that as the baseline. I approached all of my products with how does this benefit the person first and then the environment. That's not to say that I don't care about the environment. It's just that those other campaigns that put the environment first aren't resonating with people as much as the campaigns are hoping for. And I believe, at least, that it's because they don't show it can save you this amount of money every year, it can save you this amount of time this amount of manual labor, it can save you all of these different things, and that becomes secondary in a lot of these larger environmental campaigns. I began by creating a brochure that's kind of a intro to what GREENHAND is and what its message is, what it's all about. From the brochure, I then created seed packets of various vegetables and herbs, tomatoes, carrots, basil, things like that. Generally speaking, a lot of vegetables and some fruits and herbs are really resilient and really hardy and can be grown in just about any environmental condition. And in addition to saving you money, again, because you don't have to buy produce, the fresher produce that you get from that is just better for your body because it doesn't have to be coated with pesticides, doesn't have to be treated with anything, it's just you know what you're getting. I then focused on creating a booklet of sorts. The booklet details various different ways you can get rid of your grass lawn, from covering it in cardboard and smothering it, to hiring professionals to do it for you, to even hiring chickens to help pick through the grass. These ways are meant to encompass as large an audience as possible, so that if you live on a house in the middle of a lot of grass, you can find something in there that works best for you. If you live on a house with a tiny plot of land in your backyard, you can find something that works for you in there. It's really meant to be a one-stop shop for how to best get rid of your grass lawn based on your situation. I then created yard signs to put in your converted yard as a way to show your neighbors that, hey, I replaced my grass lawn with native plants or whatever it is that you do. Look at how great this is. I created two variations. One is kind of a more humorous one. It's hard pass on grass. And then the other is an I Heart Biodiversity sign, because biodiversity being kind of as the name suggests, a wide range of different plants in the region, native to that region, that bolster the health and prosperity of that local ecosystem. After that, I created 4 small infographic posters that detail the weather patterns and amount of rainfall each year in the 4 regions of the United States, broken up into 4 different regions: the South, the West, the Northeast, and the Midwest. These are kind of the 4 main regions that share similar enough weather patterns with all of the states that they encompass. In the infographics, you see the weather patterns of the region. You see how much it costs per state, the amount of water that you use, and you also see the amount of rainfall that each place gets. And this is kind of meant to serve as a way for people to reference because ideally, people look at my campaign and then they are inspired to do the work themselves. This isn't so much a campaign about here's these things that we can do for you. It's you find what's best and easiest for you to do, and then you from there take the initiative and do with it what you will. The idea with showing the weather patterns and rainfall of the infographics is to help people, to better determine what kind of plants to put in their yard depending on what region of whatever state that they live in. I then created 3 posters in that Soviet-style World War I propaganda poster as a humorous, kind of lighthearted take on the environmental message of my campaign. The first poster is a very stylized and graphic hand ripping grass and its roots out, saying "rip it out." The second is almost a direct copy of the Red Menace poster that was hung around in various places in America during the Red Scare, talking about the Red Menace, but in this case, because it's grass, it's the Green Menace, talking about how grass lawns hurt you and the environment. The third and final poster is a butterfly in a chrysalis with the text saying, "Her life is in your hands," referencing that with grass lawns, this butterfly is not going to have anything to eat and will struggle immensely to live, essentially. The final part of my project is a website to serve as an electronic database for all of the other deliverables of my project, in addition to allowing kind of the younger homeowners and maybe the kids of older homeowners to point them to the direction of, hey, in addition to all of this other stuff, here's this website you can check out that has all of these various elements for you to look at and enjoy.